I'm actually exhausted, but I appreciate you inviting me on
Hey,
um, to
anytime.
talk about Madden things, and um, I
Content
think you'd
creation.
reached out to me about a month or so ago, so this has kind of been
Yeah.
in the works for a little bit. Um,
I'm trying to
but
think stupid for that.
horizontal or vertical video. You're here. Oh, thanks, Brian. I appreciate
Looking
that.
think stupid.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, super excited to be here again. Like I said, thank you for
Of course.
inviting me on.
Of course. I know you're on Murph's
Yeah.
podcast, so might as well just hit you with the favor here.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I know you're on Murph's podcast, so might as well just hit you on here as well.
Oh
So.
yeah. Murphy D. Yeah, I think oh man, it's been a while.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a while. That one, I think I did that one with Murphy D. I want to say like back in 2021.
It's like 2, 3 years ago.
So yeah, it's been a little bit. So I did one with him, and I think I did one with Roshocker too.
Mm.
So it's yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, but yeah,
Word, word, word.
I'm always happy to do these. I'm always happy to
Yeah, that's
share
fine.
some love and show some love to the community
Heck
and be a
yeah.
part of what's going on.
All right, so I'm gonna do my YouTube intro, and then we should be getting started here. I know we're like an hour late, but it's all right. So, what's up, Twitch and YouTube? It's your boy Jake the Savage here, back again with another YouTube video. Today, we're doing the Twitch Amigos podcast with my guy iGreen for Fun, that heavy dude, and Laurenwkr. Lauren, why don't you introduce yourself and tell who the community you are?
What is going on, guys and gals? I am Lauren WKR. You're welcome to just call me Lauren. You can follow me on all of my socials. It's all Lauren WKR. Again, super happy to be a part of the show. Just a little bit about myself. I am a part time content creator. I primarily focus on football content. So, Madden, obviously, College Football 25 just recently came out. I'll be diving in pretty deep into the NFL season with doing sidecasts. For those of you that don't know, I am a diehard Steelers fan. Here we go. And so, yeah, that's just me in a nutshell. My day job, I am a senior digital content specialist. So I do graphic design, web design, all those things for my alma mater at the University of Cincinnati.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, like I said, super excited to be here, and yeah,
Hell yeah. Heavy's a little disappointed. He's a Ravens fan, so he's kind of
that is
mad.
okay. That is okay. I come from a house
I
divided.
am a Ravens fan, so
My dad's side of the family, well, my dad's dad, I should say, is from Baltimore, and my dad's a Baltimore Ravens fan. So uh,
Respectable.
definitely a house divided. Yes,
Respectable.
and with our wonderful chatter, Big Stupid 21 also said that I am a massive Beyonce and Janet Jackson fan. So a little tidbit about me, a little personal tidbit about me.
Hell yeah.
If either of those gals are on tour, more than likely I will have tickets to go see them.
Probably going
So
in a heartbeat. That's for sure. So we got my two co-hosts, Heavy and Green. Why don't you two also introduce yourselves? KT, you can
You
go
want to go
first.
first, Evan, or do you want me to go?
Doesn't matter.
you could go.
All right. So obviously, my name is iGreen for fun. My nickname is KT. I used to play some Madden. Back in the day, I was mainly in the squads community. Played that, going strong, top 100 player through 2021 through 2024. But now I'm mainly in MLB The Show. I'm a competitive MLB streamer sometimes, but top player like that. But just basically, chill player, nothing like too competitive. I don't enter like the top tournaments or whatever, but no, I just like to chill and hang out and vibe out with some smaller streamers in the community.
awesome.
Yeah. All right, Heavy, you up?
All right, so y'all know me as Heavy, or I just recently changed my name to the Rico Cruz. Um, I would say I'm probably the only Canadian in Jake's chat, and probably the only Canadian that Jake will meet. Um, I am a Baltimore Ravens fan. I do live in Toronto, and I do play football for the Toronto Junior Argonauts as a tight end. So
Very nice.
Yep. So we're all football, but if you all don't know me, I'm Jake. I do this on the daily. I'm a podcaster. I'm a content creator, part time, like Lauren is too. Pretty much, I'm a Patriots fan. I live in New Jersey, but I'm a Patriots fan at heart. So, used to live in Massachusetts. I grew up with all Brady, Gronk, all those guys. So I have respect for the Patriots and all Boston teams. I really don't watch baseball as much. I'm more of an NFL, Madden guy. I'm a NBA guy, and I like some form of hockey. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So first question for me, I would say is like, what would be your favorite Madden that you've like ever been on or like produced or like helped with? Because I know you work for EA, correct?
So I don't work for EA.
Oh, there we go.
That is as they say, fake news. But no, I, along with many others within the Madden community, specifically here on Twitch, am just a content creator. So
Mm,
there is such thing as the EA Creator Network. I, as well as many others, I'm sure you guys know, the Retro Yimmies, the Up and Atom Gaming, the Buffalo K's. We are all part of the EA Creator Network, and every once in a while, we are fortunate to get tapped to do giveaway streams, to do early access content, things of that nature. And so, I think it might help if I just kind of, um, I think it might kind of help if I just sort of gave you guys my history
all right.
with Madden, like why I even got started playing, like just sort of the day one uh, uh, ordeal. So I actually started playing Madden with Madden '06. Donovan McNabb was on the cover, and I when I was in school, I really started to kind of take a liking to the NFL. I didn't really know sort of I didn't really know much about it. Like I didn't really know like the X's and O's,
Mhm.
and it's funny. It wasn't until as much as I've been playing Madden, I was that girl. I was that player that just created a franchise, like turned off the salary cap, traded all my terrible players, brought in all the good players in the NFL, and was just running amok against the CPU. Mind you, I had no idea what I was doing. No idea what I was doing on offense. I mean, I knew plays, but I didn't really understand scheme. I didn't really understand concept. And so it wasn't until I would say between Madden 19 and I think Madden 20 was like my first Madden Ultimate Team. At that point, I understood the game of football,
Mhm.
understanding defense, understanding offense, and obviously whoever scores the most points wins, whoever prevents them from scoring the most points also wins. Um, but yeah, I like I said, I just really started to develop a liking when I was in college. I really started to develop a liking for the NFL, and one Madden was really the game that kind of taught me
Mhm.
um, that kind of taught me football. And I really just started to fall in love with um, just sort of the strategy behind it. I mean, if you think about it in a lot of ways, it's like chess, but it's grown men going
Oh,
out
for
there
sure.
hitting
Yeah.
each other, who can outsmart who. And I was very fortunate that I feel like Madden, in a lot of ways, it really changed my life. I was fortunate to work for 3 NFL clubs because
Wow.
when I was in school, I was trying to figure out what the hell I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to do something with technology in the digital space, with web design, because that was something that I really picked up on. And I was like, wow, I really like video games. I really like Madden.
Mhm.
Maybe I could sort of marry the two, making football websites, and make that a career path. And so um, I was fortunate to work for the Cowboys. I worked for the Jaguars. I worked for the Cleveland Browns, and was really sort of like a digital media coordinator, a digital manager. And so a lot of what
That's
my
cool.
role was wearing a lot of different hats. So I was responsible for the content that was going up on the sites. I was responsible for email marketing. At the time, social media was still growing. It wasn't quite where it is today, but it was still sort of a space that a lot of franchises were trying to figure out. It was really in its infancy around the time in which I was with those clubs. And
That's pretty
so
cool.
yeah, I let's see, my last job was with the Jaguars in 2017, and I came across Twitch, I want to say like in 2018. I was just a viewer at that point in time. I watched other people's streams. I knew it was something that I wanted to do, and I was just kind of being a sponge.
Hmm.
Um, making friends and getting involved with different communities and just kind of seeing how it works. And truth be told, my very I'm kind of all over the place, so you'll have to bear with me
Yeah,
here.
it's all good.
um my very first stream was January 30th of 2019, and I played Kingdom Hearts 3. I do enjoy RPG games, and that was my first ever stream. And it wasn't until about maybe a month or two into streaming I moved over into streaming. I moved over into streaming Madden. So Ultimate Team has obviously been around for a long time, but like I said, I didn't really start to get into it until Madden 20. Um, and I was very blessed and very fortunate because I think I, along with many others, happened to be at the right place at the right time. Myself, a few, I want to say, um, the landscape has changed
Oh, for sure.
dramatically in terms of the Madden creators that still stream today. I come from. I don't mean to make myself sound old here, but I guess in some ways I am old. But like, I started coming into the Madden scene with your J Dubs, your Digital Champions. I think Up and Adam started streaming at that time, that like really
Mm.
in their infancy. And I think at the time, EA was just looking for Madden creators, and so
For
I,
sure.
along with many others, I want to say like early 2020, like right around draft time, fourth quarter gaming and a few other creators were kind of handpicked from EA to be a part of their creator network, and which was how we were able to get a lot of the opportunities that we got.
Mm.
um, and so I've just kind of that's really, I mean, truth be told, that's really like how I personally grew within the Madden community. I started playing, like I said, I started playing Mutt in Madden 20. I've come a long way. I will
Yeah,
tell you that
I could
I was
tell. Yeah.
absolutely petrified to play online head to head. I was that person that would just, jump into franchise mode and just create like, rinky dink storylines. Still didn't know what the hell I was doing, but, I was streaming Madden. And I would say Madden 21 was like when I really started to like have the desire to develop an understanding of how to play Ultimate Team. Granted, personally feel like I still have a long way to go in terms of how to build my team and how to play online head to head. And I mean, granted, I play for fun. I'm not trying to win a belt. I'm not trying to be the first female to be an MCS. I do it for fun. I really do it
Yeah.
for fun. And so, like I said, there was a time in which online head to head petrified me. Now I can't stand playing the CPU. Like,
Nobody
I can't
can.
stand, like, I have to play somebody live online. I win some games, I lose some games. Obviously, my landscape is a little bit different and compared to others because I think some people are still mesmerized by the fact that there are females within this space
Yeah.
that enjoy football and play football from a video game standpoint. I know that
Yeah.
there are like actual like women leagues that play football. I would get drilled into the ground. No offense. I have no desire to actually like play real football, but I think it's awesome
Yeah, that's pretty
that the
cool.
game has sort of grown into what it has in terms of women being able to play football in certain leagues. I think it's awesome that we have female coaches. I mean, you're just really starting to see um, a lot more females in the landscape because, I mean, despite the fact that their chromosomes are a little different, we
Yeah.
enjoy football too. And we enjoy the schematics of the game. So I know that was really really super
Nah,
long
you're
winded,
good.
but
It's all good.
I really felt like it was important for me to just kind of give you sort of the foundation of like how I even got into Madden and like how I even got to this point. So, like I said, I was super fortunate to work for 3 NFL clubs. I really feel like it opened the door for me to have the future opportunities that I had. And since I wasn't working in sports anymore, I was just doing like your regular 9 to 5 deal. And I was like, well, I need a hobby, right? Like I need to do
Yeah.
something to pass the time. And that's where Twitch came into play. So I've been streaming, oh gosh, almost 6 years, maybe. I'm terrible at math, so
It's all
please
right.
just
It's all right. Me too.
forgive me with that. But yeah, I've been streaming for about 5 or 6 years now, and I'm coming up on my third anniversary, my third partner anniversary next month. September
Hell yeah.
14th will be my third-year anniversary in making partner.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that's just kind of where things got started with me. Like I said, I'm just now to a point where I am comfortable in an offense. I'm comfortable in a defense. When people are like, "Oh, what are you running? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm in big nickel over G on defense.
That's yeah.
I'm in spread offense. I run trio. Like I
Yeah.
feel confident in being able to be able to say those things. I jumped around playbooks like you wouldn't believe, and I wasn't really actually taking the time to like try and learn them. I'm actually trying to learn one now. That way I can have something else in the arsenal,
For
like
sure.
something else
Yeah.
that I can use, if I get, you know, like they pick up on what I'm doing, I can be like, oh well, I've got this, I can use
Yeah.
this. But it's fun. I think
Oh yeah. Definitely.
it no don't I mean, let's be real. Like the game can get frustrating.
Oh yeah.
I think it's no
Tell me
secret that
about it.
that the Madden 25 launch probably wasn't their most highly rated, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't I don't want to say it wasn't the best, but I think there were certain expectations and there were certain hopes that a lot of people have that just haven't gotten quite fulfilled yet. Not to
Yeah.
say that they won't, but they just, they haven't quite gotten fulfilled yet.
For
So,
sure.
but I love it. I will say that I'm, this year has kind of been a weird year for me. Like I said, I work for my alma mater at the University of Cincinnati.
Oh
I haven't
nice.
even been on that job for, I haven't even been working there for a month yet. And it's just, I did unfortunately lose my job last year.
Oh dang.
I was working with the Sporting News
Mhm.
for about a little over a year, and so a lot of my time, even though I was streaming, even though I was creating content, like I said, this is I don't see myself doing this full time, and more power to the people that have and are doing this full time, but I just think for me, like this is just I love the community that I've been able to build, and this is just for me. It's a hobby. It's a part time thing, but I love it. Like some people are
For
like,
sure.
oh, are you gonna retire from streaming or when are you? I don't know. I really don't know. Right now, I'm having a good time.
Yeah. You're
Like I said,
vibing.
I love the community that I've built. I love being able to make new friends and join other communities. Like I'm here doing this podcast with you guys, and
Yeah.
so um, it's been fun. Like I said, I'm sorry that was
Nah,
super
don't
super
worry
long
about it. Don't
winded.
worry about it. It's all good. Everybody goes on their own tangent. I mean, it's
Yeah,
respectable. It's a
yeah.
crazy
So
grind. I
that's
mean, yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much how I got here, and kind of me in a nutshell.
Hell yeah. I'm guessing you're still working for the University of Cincinnati, or you find something
Yeah,
else?
so I just started with them. I just started earlier this month, and so it's been awesome. It's been really really dope. We've got some big goals and aspirations, and it's been really good. It's been
For
really really
sure.
good.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
KT or Heavy, you guys got any questions?
Have you got anything first, or do you want me to go?
No, you're good to go.
All right, so I got one for you, Lauren. This is like
Sure.
more just about you and like getting into your interest of football. So I know you said you started getting into football, playing Madden and stuff when you were in school with. I think you said it was the Donovan McNabb cover, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know you mentioned you worked for a couple different NFL teams. How did you become a diehard Steelers fan? If you mind me asking,
Yeah.
would you
No,
say
I
it
don't.
was
I don't
for you
mind answering
different?
that.
It wasn't
So
for
my
these different
mom's side of the
teams.
family. I'm sorry, I didn't even let you finish your question. Go ahead. I
No, you're
apologize.
good. I was just gonna say, just working for the different teams. How come like you didn't like kind of fall in love with them and become a fan of one of the teams that you worked for?
I think there's such thing as being able to work for a team and still being a fan of another. Um, it's an opportunity to work in the NFL. You know, I think if it's presented to you, you're not going to say, well, you're not exactly my favorite team. Like it's a foot in the door. It's an
Yeah.
opportunity to not only do what you love, but to learn along the way, to be surrounded by a lot of smart people. And if it's an area that you really want to excel in, you're going to take the job. So, I mean, was I a fan of the Browns and the Jag? Obviously, I wasn't a fan of them when they played the Steelers, but you kind of get ingrained in that culture. I mean, you have to. You
Yeah.
kind of get ingrained in that culture, and at the end of the day, they're still people. You're still working with amazing people. The players are still people. The coaching staff are still people, and so you get to see firsthand. People, especially with the team, like you get to see firsthand just who they are as people. You get to see the grind, and the work that they put in to give you the performance, and hopefully the outcome that you're looking to get on Sunday, which
Yeah.
is the W. And so, I was fortunate to see a lot of things, that people don't see on an everyday. What we see is what we see on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and sometimes Saturday. Depending on the year, or how far into the season, that we are. So, um, yeah, I mean, listen, I like I said, I'm fortunate to work for my alma mater. I went to the University of Cincinnati. I was a web developer at Xavier University for 5 years. And
Wow.
that's like literally one of our huge rivals.
Yeah.
And I make no mistake about it. When it came time to the crosstown shootout, I was like, I Xavier can go f themselves. Like, I'm a
Respect.
Bearcat at heart. So, you make it work. Because it's not at that point. It's not about the fandom. It's about the job. It's about the relationships and the bonds, that you create with the people within the organization.
For sure.
Yeah.
Who would you be? Like, who was like your favorite player that you ever like met like during whenever you worked for like the NFL side of things?
Oh goodness. Um, let's see. I would say with the Jaguars, it was Telvin Smith, um, linebacker out of Florida State. I don't think he's still in the game, but just really funny guy, exciting personality, just overall funny, easy to work with, very very easygoing. Browns, I would say, and this is around the time that I was there. I would say Joe Hayden. It's funny because he ended up playing for the Steelers for a certain amount of
Yeah.
time, and I would be curious to know where his allegiance is today. I want to say it's with Pittsburgh, but yeah, Joe Hayden for sure, is definitely one. As far as Dallas goes, I not so much player. Like I said, I'm totally aging myself, and that's fine. I'll give you two. Wasn't Didn't have the best NFL career. Bobby Carpenter,
Mm.
linebacker that was drafted out of Ohio State, always in the gym,
Go
always
Bucks.
trying to trying to get better. He didn't exactly. I mean, I say this with so much sincerity and like so much love. I think the expectation that a lot of people, especially the Cowboys, had for him didn't exactly pan out. But I mean, to my knowledge, he's doing well. I think he has like his own like radio or podcast thing that he's doing,
Hmm.
now. Really really stand up guy. Believe it or not, in terms of coaches, um I'm gonna say Jason Garrett. He was
Interesting.
always super nice to me. Like every time I would see him, he would actually take the time out of his coaching schedule to like have a conversation, want to know what's going on in my life. And that's why it's so funny because we get so wrapped up in the results that we see on Sunday, and we forget that these are like actual people. Like
Yeah.
these are people that have actual families. And granted, there are some coaches that are assholes. I will not name them. But then there are players as well, and there are coaches, that are just down to earth, that are just human, like actual human beings. Um, But yeah, like I'm not a Cowboys fan. I couldn't care less about the Cowboys results on Sundays, but my heart always went out to Jason Garrett. It really did, because it's just like, man, like
Mhm.
the results that you're providing aren't the results that Cowboys fans want, but you're a good guy. Like
Yeah.
make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, yeah.
Don't
you're a
tell Skip
nice
Bayless
down to
that.
earth guy.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
like, what do we expect from the Cowboys now? Who knows? Nobody knows. They're not gonna
right.
be good, but
First round exits.
yeah. Have you got a question for Lauren?
Not off the top of my head, but if I get one, I will make sure to ask it.
Oh, Dev with a
Okay.
good question. Who's your all-time favorite Steelers player?
All-time favorite Steeler would have to be Troy Polamalu. Um,
That's a
being
good one
able
too.
to see him play, he's like my all-time favorite Steeler and one of my all-time favorite players. My other all-time favorite NFL player, I would say, is Peyton Manning. I was fortunate to meet Peyton when I was in school. Actually, he came
Oh wow.
to the University of Cincinnati, and I was part of what was called the Programs Activities Council, and it was separated into a couple different categories. We had a concerts category, we had a movies category. I mean, it's probably completely evolved today. Movies category, we had a speakers category, and essentially we got a certain amount of funding um, from the powers that be on campus, and it was our job to bring in different activities on campus. And so
That's pretty cool.
I was a part of, I think I was a part of the concert group, and essentially it was our job to um, try to get um, that was within our budget, try to put on a good end of the year concert. We would, believe it or not, this was like right before he blew up, but and came out with College Dropout. But we were able to get Kanye West
That's
to
crazy
come, and
cool.
yeah, this was like way before what he
What he
is
is
now.
now.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, like we were able to, this was, again, I'm aging myself, but this was like 2004, 2005 time frame.
Mhm.
We were able to
That's
get him on
cool.
campus. But yeah, going back to Peyton Manning, we were able to, the speakers uh, group was able to get him to come on campus, and he spoke about leadership. And
That's cool.
after he spoke, um, we had sort of like a private like meet and greet, if you will. So um
For
which
sure.
was, it was interesting because of course the football team was involved, and they're like bombarding him, and they're just like,
Like hyping him up.
hey, I'm trying to get into the league, and what do I need to do to get better? And he was so graceful, he was so kind,
Yeah.
he's just a stand-up guy.
That's
And
cool.
you could tell like it was an environment that he was used to, because he knew how to handle it. Like if it were me, I'd be like, yo, you need to back up. But like like I said, he was just so graceful about it. He was just like, oh man, I just, because obviously he played at Tennessee. He was just like, I
Yeah.
just started lifting, and that's, I just lift and lift, and that's how I got better. And I, was in the playbook and X's and O's, and just really gave him positive insight, and really like graceful positive answers. So
For
I
sure.
was, I was happy to see Peyton finally got a Super Bowl
His
against the
brother's
Bears, and
better.
then he was able to get another one against what was it, Denver, when Denver played Carolina, I think it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, when Denver played
Seattle.
Carolina. So yeah, Troy, all-time favorite Steeler, all-time favorite player, Troy Polamalu. And I long for the day to be able to meet him. It's gonna happen. I don't know when,
It's
but
gonna
it's
happen.
it's definitely
You
gonna
gotta
happen.
manifest it. You gotta
Exactly. Speaking
manifest it.
speaking it into
Yeah,
existence.
that too.
Speaking it into existence. And then of course Peyton Manning. So,
Of
which I
course.
know that's probably like vinegar to you, since you're
Nah.
a Patriots
It's
fan.
alright. I mean, I don't have hate on him. I mean,
What's
Yeah,
no
vinegar
hate
to
on him.
Jake is watching Eli Manning steal two of them from Tom Brady.
Yep.
this is true.
Yep.
That was
This is true as
that was I
well.
was that was heaven for me.
I was like, Jesus. I was like young when that
Uh,
happened too.
I see a question in the chat, and the question is from TTV Dev Dog. What is your favorite Steeler memory growing up? It would have to be the 2008 Super Bowl game-winning touchdown, Ben Roethlisberger to Santonio Holmes. Because if he
Interesting.
doesn't catch that ball, we don't win that. We don't win that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, there were quite a few factors. I mean, the freaking interception with James Harrison running all the way down the field, needing an oxygen mask after that. But that was huge. I was in Dallas at the time during that game, and I was actually at a
Wow.
friend's house watching that game. And like you want to talk about getting ready to throw up,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that would definitely be my all time.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So, how do you feel about AB's current status right now? Since you're the Steelers fan, do you like AB's like lingo on Twitter, or you think he's like going crazy?
Um, how do I want to put this? I feel for him in that I'm sad he's declined. You know,
Oh,
I
definitely.
wanna say this in the most professional way possible. I feel like AB, if he would have kept the energy and kept the momentum that he had as a Steeler, he could have easily been one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
Oh,
I mean, he easily to if he would have stayed on the path that he was on in Pittsburgh, he easily would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. I know a lot of people joke about, oh, he's probably got CTE, and even he jokes about it. I don't know what happened. I
nobody
I don't
knows.
I really I don't know what happened. He prior to him sort of having a melt. I'll just call it a meltdown. Prior to him having a meltdown, he got a nice contract from the Steelers, and then I can't remember who it was that maybe another receiver that he kind of wanted to have the same. I don't know. He got all that money, and then he just started acting weird.
Yeah.
He just started acting up, and then next thing you know, he's like not dressing for games and on the sideline wearing chinchillas and not, doing what he's supposed to do. And then, he got what he wanted, got traded to, at the time, Oakland Raiders. This was before they
Sounds
moved to
crazy.
Vegas. And, before the season even started, he started acting up there. And he just went through all of these different routines. And I think the last I saw is he's like bankrupt now. I
Yeah.
I, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it's it's wasted talent
Hmm.
personally. If I really sit and think about it, it's just like you had everything, bro.
I
Like
know.
you literally had everything, and you just chose to go on this really weird rampage.
Yeah.
And it's a sad story.
Hmm.
For all we know, that it could be the next 30 for 30. It could be the next Untold on Netflix.
But yeah.
It's just he was he could have easily been one of the, at the very least, he could have been one of the greatest Steelers receivers of all time. With the Lynn Swans and the Heinz Wards, and he was well on his way. He was well on his way, and then something happened. And if I knew what it was, I would tell you,
I
but I
was
don't
at
know.
that game when he walked out of the stadium against the Jets.
Yeah,
Greatest.
that's
So funny. My dad's like, what's AB doing?" I'm like, "I don't know." He walks out of the stadium. It was so funny.
I got a question.
yeah,
Go ahead, Abby.
yeah. Shoot.
So this is a small little question. Of all time in the NFL, who do you think was the hardest hitter?
Oh.
Doesn't have to be a linebacker. It doesn't have to be a defensive end. It can be any position.
Wow.
We're
The
going deep now.
hardest hitter.
Do you want all of us to respond with that heavy, or just Lauren?
It doesn't matter. You can respond. She can
I mean,
respond. Jack can respond.
there's quite a few. Obviously, for me anyway, linebacker does come to mind. I mean, Ray Lewis is definitely up there. I think he retired um, Eddie George.
Yeah.
No, he won't admit it, but I really think Ray Lewis ended Eddie George in a lot of ways. You got to say Sean Taylor as well. He was a force. Obviously tragic situation
Canes.
with Sean Taylor, but he's definitely up there. Uh, oh goodness.
There's so many.
Um,
Can't
Perfect.
forget another defensive
Brian
player,
Dawkins.
Brian Dawkins.
yes, Brian Dawkins. He could never stay healthy, but when he was out
No,
there, he was
Yeah.
crazy. Bob Sanders.
Wait, Bob Sanders
Um,
was nasty too. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Bobby
Uh,
Wagner, Patrick Willis. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dick
Patrick Willis
Wayne.
for sure. Patrick Willis for sure.
Cam Chancellor,
Um,
all those guys.
mhm.
Legion of Boom, the whole Legion of Boom in 2012. All those guys I think are
Yeah.
crazy. Ed Reed, Troy
Those are the
Polamalu.
ones that
Yeah,
are
Lady Guy, I agree.
those are the main ones that are
Bill
coming to mind.
Romanowski.
Bill Romanowski.
Lady K in the chat said Ed Reed, Troy P. Definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Bill
What was so great?
Romanowski.
Another thing about Troy P was that he already knew what you were gonna do. That like
Oh,
he
definitely,
just
yeah.
he was beyond. He freelanced a lot, and a lot of his freelancing paid off. For some players, it didn't pay off. I would say 95% of the time, Troy P's freelancing paid off
Oh,
and
definitely.
rewarded us in like some of the biggest ways possible.
For sure.
Um,
Bill
but
injured
yeah,
his
I'm
own
trying to
teammate.
think.
Yeah, yeah, true that. There's a lot.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
lot of players. I can't think of any
yeah.
more. Earl
That's a good
Thomas.
question.
Chat, do we got any questions? Lauren, you got
I was
any
gonna say,
Oh,
questions?
JT. I
I
think
got one
you
more.
had mentioned that this could definitely be a two-way street. I mean, I would love to know, like, first off, like what got you guys into content creation? Like what how did you come across, was it Twitch? Was it YouTube? Was it social media? Like what made you say, you know what, let me start doing some research. Let me find a webcam, let me find a budget mic, because we all start somewhere,
Yeah.
right? We all start
Yeah.
somewhere. Truth be told, when I first started streaming, I'm gonna nerd out a little bit, okay? Because I'm very much a tech nerd. I
Right.
had, and this was before I started streaming, before OBS was even able to. It wasn't even compatible with MacBooks. It wasn't even
Oh, wow.
compatible with the Apple ecosystem at the time. And so what I did was I had a 13-inch MacBook Pro, and I partitioned the drive so that one part of the drive was running Mac OS and the other side of the drive was running Windows. And I
That's
put
funny.
OBS on that Windows. I mean, you want to talk about that? My computer was about to take off.
I was about to say, it sounds like a freaking
It
rocket
was
ship.
that fan was like, it was a rocket. It was definitely a rocket. But
Oh, yeah.
like I said, we all, I think sometimes, and I don't. Again, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. I think a lot
Don't
of
worry about it.
people, when it comes to this, they feel like they need to have the most expensive, and they need to have, all the latest and greatest, and that's not necessarily true. I think as you continue to grow, and as you desire to get better, and obviously financially, you don't want to go broke starting out with this, but we all start somewhere. I had a tiny webcam. I was streaming off of a partitioned hard drive on a 13-inch MacBook Pro. Like, we all start somewhere. But I would love to know, like, what motivated you guys to get into this space, and are you enjoying it? Do you see your guys not stopping anytime soon? Like, what keeps you coming back? You know?
So I started on YouTube. I used to start streaming on YouTube.
Okay.
Pretty much, Heavy was my first ever, I think, moderator in my YouTube streams. And then I was streaming on YouTube for like 2 years. Um, and then I switched back over to Twitch because Heavy's like,
Okay.
you should legitimately stream on Twitch again. I'm like, sure. And then I hit 1K, like, I would say 3, 4 months, a couple months ago, probably. Um, Pretty much, I post YouTube videos. I posted my most viewed video currently has like 2,000 followers, and pretty much it was me just unboxing a full send flag from the Nelk Boys, and that video popped off. It has like over 2,000 views to this day. And then I stream on Twitch every single day in the summer, playing Madden, pretty much everything. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to keep it going, but like, it's pretty hard to, since it's a new thing for me to do, and
For sure.
I like it. It's just I like talking sports, since my major at school is sports communications.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So, yeah, and
Okay.
yeah, I'm trying to be an announcer one day. I'm trying to be like the first ever neurodivergent um, announcer, because I am autistic. So I try to do
Okay.
that. And then yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
That is truly awesome. That
I
is truly
appreciate that.
awesome. I think if you keep grinding and you keep putting the work in, you're gonna, even though it doesn't seem like it at first, I can assure you and promise you it will pay off.
I
It
appreciate
it
that.
definitely will pay off.
Hmm. All right, KT, you can go or heavy,
So,
either or.
I'll
You
go.
want to go heavy?
I'll
All
go.
right,
Yeah.
bet.
So really, Jake got me into streaming. Um, I think I started off on my PS4 playing a lot of GTA and Madden,
love that.
which I
Love
still
that.
do to this day. And I just kept going at small streamers that would play 2K, Madden, MLB, whatever, seeing if I can bring them into my chat, not by just
Mhm.
saying, "Hey, follow me," but like actually creating a connection with them. And I think I've had, um, I think it was this Twitch account for about 3 to 4 years now, and that's how long mine and Jake's friendship has been going on. So
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Love that. Love that.
Go ahead, KT.
All right, so for me, I originally started streaming like way back, probably 2016, 2017, because I used to be a huge 2K guy.
Hmm.
That's where I got the name I Green for Fun from. I used to just, be a shooter on 2K, so and I was pretty good at it. So I would stream a little bit and I would meet people like that would stream kind of ironically just because I got pretty good at 2K. And I would meet people and then I learned what Twitch was probably back then, around then too. I originally, like Jake, started out on YouTube. And then I took like a pretty big break from it for like 4 years. And then I went into my boy Tony's chat who played Madden. And he was a squad streamer. And that's where I met Jake. And then along the way, I met Heavy through Jake. And then I kind of just was in there and I would play with him and I would play with this guy Beans. And they were kind of looking for viewers at first. They were like, "Do you want to play?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll play." And they probably thought I was terrible at the game, and I was pretty good at the game. So they told me, they're like, "Oh, you're a pretty funny dude. You know how to entertain people." So they told me you should start streaming. So I'm like, "All right, cool." And then I had my IRL buddy that I would play with also, and then we were both pretty good at the game. So just one day I started booting up and streaming a little bit, and I made friends through those two guys, and I would just go from there. And then I did it probably solid for about a year. Got a nice little following going. I boot up every day, small little community. But then I went to school, so I kind of stopped for a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit, and then I kind of haven't really gotten back into like being full time streaming since then. But I kind of just did it because it was fun. It was a way to engage with people, interact with people, and I was also good at the game, so I knew like not to be like a douche or anything, but like that's kind of how I would get people to come to the stream because
Right.
I was good at the game, I was winning, and people could learn a thing or two from me. By the way, Ravens playbook in Madden, that pistol, cheesy,
Cheesy.
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 Cheesy. It works, I guess. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
so
mean
what?
there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, when it comes to content creation as a whole, either you're really really good, specifically with streaming, I should say, either you're really really good at the game or you're a phenomenal entertainer. And I'm neither of those. So the fact that I've been able to have the community that I have is absolutely amazing. I mean, I don't know, I might crack a joke here and there, but no, that's awesome. That's really really awesome. I think for me, I really like to look at it from a standpoint of these it's like a house party, right? Like to me, like your community, like these are people that you have in your house and you're just kicking it and you're just talking about whatever you're talking about, so but that's awesome. You started out with 2K, you got really really good at 2K, and yeah, that's good stuff.
Jesus, lady KB.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Chat. We got any questions for me, or we got anybody?
Jake, let me ask Lauren one question, like kind of about
Go
like
ahead.
streaming because I asked her about. All right, so I know you said you've been on the block for a while. You're one of the
Hmm.
older, people that stream and create content.
Hmm.
Ultimate Team since 2020. How do you content creators do it with the way that that game went? Like, what drove me away and sent me screaming and running was the fact that essentially you need mommy and daddy's credit card to be ripping packs in order to have a competitive team and to be able to play consistently online or in these qualifiers, because it's not a game that I went to like MLB where I can just play challenges and a couple of objectives and I can get players that can allow me to be competitive online. So with that and what they've taken away, like the TVPs and the mystery packs, which was a clear downgrade, and with the way they've gone, which is pay to win, how do you guys stay motivating and wanting to win, seeing how much the community can't stand that? And for people that aren't top streamers, that they open bundles and stuff because they can just use that as a tax write off because that's their business. How do you guys like get the like kind of want to continue promoting and putting out a product when that company EA is just gone in the toilet? It's driving people away more and more each year. How do you people want to do that? Like, I don't understand the motivation behind it.
Um, it's kind of a loaded question there. I think, when it comes to just sort of this space in general, I think one thing that you have to remember, and I lose sight of this sometimes as well. Like, I don't have a very big community. I still love my community to death. I think on average, my viewership, and, a lot of it just had to do with life things that came my way. But like my viewership is anywhere between, I would say I'm averaging between like maybe 15 to 30 people a stream, and I'm completely okay with that.
Mhm.
One thing that I have to remember and that my community constantly reminds me of is the fact that they're not there for the gameplay. They're not there for pack openings. They're there for me. They're there for me, and they have a good time. They feel like they can be themselves. I have a very open community, so long as everyone is respecting one another. I mean, yeah, we joke, we have a good time. We might say some things here and there, but it's never in real malice. It's never out
Mhm.
of hate. It's never anything like that. So, I think from a viewership standpoint, it really just depends on the streamer. And so for me, I'm okay with where my viewership is because I know that I'm going to have a good time no matter what. I think one thing as well is because we're so ingrained and we're so engrossed in Ultimate Team, and we're whether that's on Twitch or YouTube or social media, I think sometimes we lose sight of the fact that there are other people that play this game that aren't content creators,
Mhm.
and I think we sort of categorize ourselves as the primary audience when we're not.
Mhm.
um, so that's one thing that you lose sight of. I think we have to be realistic as well. I mean, it's fun to rip packs. Like, I enjoy ripping packs. Like, me playing Ultimate Team, like, this is my hobby.
For sure.
I'm not a pocket watcher. What people want to spend their money on is what they want to spend their money on. Every year I do what I can to build a Steelers theme team because that's what brings me joy and that's what makes me happy. I think we need to be realistic, and say to ourselves that every game that you hop on online, you're not going to win. Like,
Mhm.
there are some, and I get it. It's frustrating because there are some things where you're like, yep, that was me. I made a boneheaded play. And then there are other things within the online space where it's just like, what the hell? Like, I've got knockout. Why? What is, the spin move is out of control. Like, I get that. There's a combination of things. So I told, please trust and believe. I understand the frustration, on that side of things.
Definitely.
I think when you really just kind of sit back and again, I'm not trying to make justifications, but um it's really just how you look, how you view the game. It's I like I said, I get frustrated too, but at the end of the day, at least for me, I can't speak for anyone else. It's a video game. Even the pros, like
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of pro, like I love Dubby. I've been watching a lot of Dubby, lurking. I've been watching a lot of Popular Stranger. I've been watching a lot of Trey Thomas. I've been watching a lot of Henry. A lot of these competitive guys, they lose games too, and they've spent probably anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 up to this point, and we haven't even
Crazy.
had the game out we've barely had the game out for a month.
It's
you know
wild.
right. And I think that's, I think too, when you look at it from that perspective, like, you have to keep in mind too, you can easily get done up, you can have an 85 overall team and easily get done up by someone that's got a 81 overall team because they understood scheme. They knew how to outplay you. You know, you don't always have to have the best players and always have to have the best cards, you know, every single time you're searching for an opponent to play online
Mhm.
head to head.
For sure.
So it's just when you look at it from that perspective, you kind of take back. You know, I mean, granted, you don't. Some people want to spend a lot of money because they want to spend a lot of money. Like I said, they love pack openings. I love pack openings. There are some people out there with a budget team just running amok in MUT champs and making their way to the gauntlet. You know,
Hmm.
like I said, there are some things where you're like, yeah, I made a boneheaded mistake, and there are some things within the game where it's just like Madden is maddening.
Yeah.
Um, but I think sometimes we just have to take a step back as a community and understand that we are not the primary audience.
Hmm.
And but again, that's not to diminish your feelings, that's not to diminish your thoughts, because you know I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I would love for us to get to a point where it's not like that. When that time and day will come, I don't know. I don't know, but I think we have to understand that some people just like spending money for the sake of spending money
Yeah.
because that's what they want to do. Like I said, for me personally, I'm not a pocket watcher, but at the same time, you don't have to spend a credit card. It's a grind for sure. It's
Hmm.
definitely a grind, but you don't have to, you know, feel like you need to compete with Timmy's, you know, mom and dad's credit card so that you can win online head to head games. At the end of the day, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some.
True.
So I don't know if that answered your question there, but just something to think about and something to consider.
Yeah, that's fair and all, but my issue that I have with EA is that people that are whipping out the credit cards and the wallets, and we complain about these things. There's cheese plays that you cannot stop them, no matter what you set your flats to, no matter if you deep half, if you do this. There's just unstoppable plays and glitches in the game, like people's spin moves, these lit up X factors that people complain about 24/7, and yet EA will not do a thing because they rely on the Timmies that spend their money on mommy and daddy's credit card. As long as they keep getting their money from that, they truly don't care. They do not take the feedback from the community that we are giving them, the average players, because nobody will like go up there and criticize them. They don't have people that are the top content creators telling them what to do. That's the thing that would frustrate me, that sent me running, is that it's a game that I love. I truly love it. I understand, you love the game of football and you love engaging with your chat and your audience. That same thing with me with MLB. The game is not great. They're starting to transition to the Madden way, which is hiding the best players behind packs and LTDs to make you spend a ton of money on them. It's just really difficult to see a game that that I loved and that you play all the time just go down the drain because they're simply content. They're making their money, but they don't really want to do anything up and about. Like last year, I watched Mahomes do that like side throw that he made in the Super Bowl. They advertise that, they put that on the loading screen. I never saw one person do that. They're putting out this fake gimmick that will make people be interested in the game. I think it's unfair to the people like you and the people like me and the people like Jake that play all the time, that they're saying, "Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that," but they don't ever change a thing. It's essentially just copy and paste rosters every year. Like that's really frustrating to me, and I'm assuming probably a lot of people like out there in the community.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, and that's absolutely a fair opinion to have. And I don't want to invalidate your feelings because they are valid. They definitely are valid. But you know, I think for me, I can't help but to go back to the point of we are not their primary audience. Like there are other game modes, right, outside of just Ultimate Team, and I think because we play so much Ultimate Team and we love Ultimate Team, you know, to the extent that we do, it's easy for us to have the mindset of why aren't they listening to us? Why aren't they paying attention to us? Why aren't they giving us exactly what we want? You know, there's, you know, when it comes to cheese plays, um, there's ways to beat them. How I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Um,
Yeah.
that's a tough one. That's truly a tough one. I think for me it just boils down to perspective. I have no problem quitting out of a game if I'm that frustrated, If I feel like, you know, I mean, I felt pretty good the other day. I mean, it's been a minute since before I left for vacation, you know, someone had the 85 Derrick Henry and he just kept running I form and thought that he was just going to run the ball down my throat. And I ended up winning the game, right? Like, God only
Yeah.
knows how much money he spent, you know, to get that 85 Derrick Henry. And this was like maybe, you know, 4 or 5 days after the game had launched. And it really just boils down to perspective. Again, I'm not trying to invalidate your feelings and your thoughts about it, but I think it's very easy to uh, feel like you're not being heard, and it's easy to get to feel like you're the only audience that they should be paying attention to.
For sure.
Again, I'm not trying to justify their actions. I'm not trying to justify, you know, their way of doing business. But you know, at the end of the day, they are in the business of making money, and they know that people are going to spend the money. But again, you can win games and not have to have the absolute, you know, you don't have to have an 86 overall.
Yeah.
You don't have to have an 85 overall team in order to win games. But again, I totally I understand. I get it. I'll just say I get it for sure.
For sure. Chat, do we
I
got
got
any questions? Have you got something?
I got one more.
Sure.
Back to the game modes, like when you said you used to play franchise and do whatever you could,
Hmm.
and then now you're back in Ultimate Team. What's one game mode you think EA should bring back and lift up again?
Wow. Um, that's a good question, and the reason it's a good question is because I don't have an answer to that. I don't know. That's a tough. I mean, like I said, I was so engrossed into franchise. I mean, like I said, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'll be
Hmm.
honest. Like I was just, you know, shooting the shit in the game modes, just, you know, trying to get my team maxed out, you know, to the point, and you know, maybe that's a fault of mine, but like I really didn't, because I was so engrossed in that, I didn't take the time to actually pay attention to, you know, other game modes. But I guess, you know, if it's all right, I would love to reverse the question for you. Like, what game modes do you feel like first and foremost, when was your first Madden, and within the time frame in which you've been playing up to this point, what is something for you that you feel like, wow, I really missed that. I wish they would bring that back.
I mean, I started um, Madden 19,
Okay.
and I felt I didn't really know what to do in Madden 19.
Mm-hmm.
Like you did, I just played against CPUs. I started Ultimate Team because I wanted to see how it felt, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't play any online games. I felt like challenges were too hard for me and whatnot. So like I just stopped playing Ultimate Team, and then once Madden 20 came around, Superstar KO was like, oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
the shit, right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So I feel like if EA would really focus on that, I feel like it could bring that feeling back up again.
For sure. For sure.
KT, you
Okay.
have yours because I got mine.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The Madden that you started on. What game mode would you bring back?
Um, since I haven't played this year's Madden, I just remember, Jake. I don't know if you remember 21. We
Hmm.
had the college superstar KO mode, which was kind of like
Yes.
the little bit of the prelude to NCAA coming back. Like I love playing with that LSU team with like Burrow, Chase,
Hmm.
Justin Jefferson. That was a lot of fun. So I mean that was really nice. I don't know. I know Superstar. I think Superstar KO is still in Madden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's hidden somewhere and nobody
Yeah.
plays it.
Yeah.
Hidden. Yeah, so I do miss that. I guess you can say that was a really fun mode that if me and my IRL buddies wanted to play, we could play it and just relax and have fun. It wasn't, oh,
For
I
sure.
have to hop on the game and
Hmm.
sweat my ass off type shit in order to win.
Hmm.
That's what I enjoyed a lot about that game mode.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
would
and
say.
that's another thing too. Like, there's a little bit of something for everybody. You know, like I think the biggest challenge for me now that college football is back, um, being able to be flexible and find a balance. Like obviously it's when you fall behind in mud, it can not be so rewarding sometimes. I mean, granted, you can catch up, but it does you do kind of have that mental pressure of feeling like that you have to stay on top of your challenges and stay on top of grinding the field pass and everything like that. But I listen, I never thought that I would enjoy uh doing offline with Road to Glory and Dynasty, but I am like I look forward to when I am just so pissed off with head to head, going over to those game modes and just taking a break.
For
One of the
sure,
things
yeah.
that I used to do last year, when Mutt would piss me off, is I would go over into regs, and play regs. And so
Hmm.
that's just one thing that we have to keep in mind, is that when we do get frustrated to our max, there are other game modes that we can play
Yeah,
and that we can create content with, and that we might actually end up like and feel like we're having a lot more fun within those game modes than maybe we would with a mutt you
for
know
sure.
um so yeah, that's the thing. Like, don't get yourself like just so like,
Yeah.
and I've been there. I promise you, I've been there. Like, there's nothing worse, at least for me, there's nothing worse than just getting done up and you can't figure out why. Like, you can't, like, you just feel
Hmm.
like, damn it, I cannot stop this. But the beauty of having other game modes is the fact that there's other ways that you can have fun.
For sure,
And
yeah.
like I said, we've got college football now. So
Yeah.
I need to get back on, it. But when I was playing Road to Glory and when I was playing Dynasty, my first year Dynasty with my Bearcats, it was rough. I think we lost like 45 to something in the Las Vegas Bowl, or something like that. But it's just,
Damn.
it's
It
fun just
happens,
knowing that
yeah.
you can build your team, and their strategy behind that with the recruitment process. And there are other ways that you can have fun. And I think it's important that we try to remember that, and not lose sight of that.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Lauren, you got any questions for us? Chat, you guys got any last minute questions?
Chat, any questions out there? It's new says, I love my draft in Madden 20. The draft was awesome because it always updated with the newest promos.
That's so true, though. Would.
Yeah.
Do we got any questions? Lauren, you got any questions for me, KT, or Heavy?
I,
Anything?
I don't I actually don't have any other questions. But I want to thank you guys again for allowing me to crash your
Of
podcast
course,
and
of course.
and come on and speak with you guys, and just have good conversation. And I followed all of you guys on here on Twitch, so I definitely look forward to catching the next stream the next time that you guys fire up. So again, thank you guys so much for having me on. If you ever want me on again for whatever
Oh,
reason,
for
I
sure,
can
yeah.
definitely make myself available. I love having these conversations. I
Of
think they're
course.
good conversations.